people to get in here. Tweet out we are live. All right, let me tweet out.
Do the Bruce Buffer.
Yeah, might as well get started here. Just because we get one person in here and then.
Definitely Justin.
Yeah, guys, if you guys are here, put hey in the message or live chat so we can get started. So basically the format today is we're going to go over, the Vikings free agency signings, and then we're going to get into some options that are possible in the draft, just addressing some things that, we possibly can see as potential signings that would benefit the Vikings. I'm joined alongside my partner in crime, Isaac. Isaac, thank you for being here.
Thanks, I live here.
Right. So this is the first time any of the 10,000 Tears guys have got together. Recently, just got over COVID, so that's why the videos have been not going out for self-entitled draft expert. So if you guys, we're going to give you an opportunity to put in the comments any questions or anything you have for us. But let's get started.
Hey, Justin, I know you're out there.
Yeah, we're going to get started. So the Vikings signed.
Grab my beer.
Love Kirk Cousins. Mitch sucks 69. Love it.
Kirk Cousins, greatest quarterback around. I have a hot take waiting.
Yeah, so let's get into who the Vikings have signed so far. So the Vikings made a splash in free agency. It took them a little bit of time, but they got their number one target in Dalvin Tomlinson.
Nacho Thuney.
So we got him on a 2-year deal. Then they made a splash later on a couple days. We had Stephen Weatherly first.
Stephen Weatherly made his comeback. I think he's going to be a little rotational on the end with DJ Wanham, which I actually don't mind.
Just bringing in some veteran leadership. He's been part of the system, so it's definitely a good fit for us.
He even said he didn't even realize leaving Minnesota would be such a mess up with Andre Robinson there.
Yeah, so I got fun story in this shirt. Mitch sucks 69. So Dalvin Cook was at my dad's work and actually handed my dad the shirt. Said, "Give your son this. He loves the team, supports the team." So shout out Dalvin for the shirt. Where are you going?
I ran out of beer.
Oh, you ran out of beer.
It is another Friday happy hour.
Yeah, if you guys have a drink, go ahead and
the
open
last
it up
time
and
we did this one.
Just go ahead and drink along with us. We are not drinking any specific kind of beer.
It's Miller Lite.
No, we're not sponsored.
Not sponsored Miller Lite. Oh, it's fun.
Anyways, so the biggest free agency splash so far.
Dalvin Tomlinson.
It's been Dalvin Tomlinson.
But,
reunite the Williams-Well 2.0.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for Michael Pierce to make his Minnesota Vikings debut.
It'll be exciting.
It's gonna be like having two Linval Josephs, but younger.
Right.
Younger and more sack power, I believe.
Well, that's a big thing we had to work on in the offseason was establishing some sort of semblance of a defensive line because last year was ugly. It was bad. I think we were 29th in the league against the run.
Well, when you have Michael Pierce opt out, Danielle Hunter didn't play a single down. Right. The Nick Ngakoue experiment didn't work out.
Well, it did. At the end of the year, he led our team in sacks.
Up until like week 14 or 15 when Ifedi Odenigbo, I finally figured out his name just in time for him to leave for the Arizona Cardinals, but he ended up leading us with 6.5 sacks, I believe. So Mike Zimmer even said, "This is the worst defense I've ever had," and that's not necessarily saying something, but still.
At the beginning of the season, he said, "I'm not worried about this young defense," and I was, and obviously.
He thought
push comes to shove, it's not good at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, who even were our defensive tackles? That was Shamar Stephen,
Jalen Holmes,
and Shamar Stephen or something.
Shamar Stephen. Okay, can we talk about how long it took for them to cut him? Like from day one, we could have used his $3.5 million in savings.
They wanted to make sure we got Dalvin Tomlinson before.
Right.
I mean, I understand that they were thinking depth But at that point, you just cut the leash.
Yeah, I mean, was he the fifth highest paid player on the team?
Yeah,
I mean,
$4 million?
I think it's a $7 million cap hit, but we saved $3.5 million by cutting him.
Ridiculous.
He was just not worth it at the end of the season. The production was not there. And Fede, love him to death. We kind of raised him up in our system, but
he came from Arizona. He came from Arizona. I understand him wanting to go home. I could see him being another Stephen Weatherly
coming back.
Him making a comeback, realizing that Andre Patterson is the greatest thing that ever happened to a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Hey, the mic thing is at like 1 or 2. I don't know if you can hear us.
Well. Can you guys hear us pretty well in the comments?
Mitch sucks 69.
Yeah.
Let us know. Can you hear us all right? Or do I need to yell? I don't want another noise complaint.
Anyways, so later on in the free agency, we got the guy we've been targeting for a long time, and I've been preaching for the past 3 seasons that we need
the guy
we've
tried to trade for the past.
And that is future Hall of Famer Patrick Peterson on a 1-year deal, $10 billion. It's more like 7. It's like
$10 billion.
It's $10 million.
$10 billion.
Picture isn't the greatest though. Hey, you're gonna get what you're gonna get here.
Let me get better lighting. Hey, just like to say, greatest Timberwolf of all time.
Shut up.
He did lead the Timberwolves all time in 3-pointers until Karl Anthony Towns took over.
Anyways, yeah. So Patrick Peterson, big sign here. You're bringing in a veteran who's gonna,
you got shadow from your hat.
Yeah. So.
Ooh. Ooh.
Hey, Justin. Thanks for being here, man. Yeah, we'll take questions later on. But right now we just want to
Justin, ask any questions you want at any time, buddy.
So we just want to establish what's going on in free agency so far.
Lux of land of 10,000 tears.
We've kind of, besides safety, we've really addressed all the issues that we've had, other than also.
I mean, we just went and got Mackenzie Alexander again.
Yeah, just signed a 1-year deal.
I thought he was the best cornerback to lead the Vikings last offseason.
And he had a good season. I know he had some issues in Cincinnati, and there were some legal issues, I think.
I don't know. I don't follow the Bengals.
But there was definitely some legal issues with Mackenzie Alexander. So hopefully that's all said and done. But definitely somebody that's been farmed in the Zimmer system that we bring in and is going to definitely contribute day one. Probably going to play that, I would say, a slot position.
No, I mean, Mike Hughes is definitely done with this team now.
I think Mike Hughes,
he's gone.
He'll be on the team until when it comes to the 53-man roster cuts.
They'll give him a chance to compete for the return spot, for the return man. But
I mean, in college he was an excellent returner. And if we're gonna bring him back in any sort of semblance of the position, it's gonna be a return game.
On that vertebrae issue in his neck, man, that happened
second time too.
Yeah,
it's just
it could be career ending at this point.
It's really unfortunate because he has such a bright future, and that when he did play, he did bring a little bit of a spark to the team. But
we drafted him in the first round to be a return man and to groom him into being, our number 2 quarterback.
Right.
And he was getting there slowly but surely.
Yeah. So good question. So what I'm thinking the cornerback room is going to look like, I'm thinking that it's going to be Dantzler and Peterson on either side. I'm thinking it's going to be more of a zone system because I think what we learned from last year is that man-to-man with these rookies, or now they're going to be 1 year underneath their belt, but we're going to need to run a zone system. So there's going to be a lot of cornerback movement, which makes this Mac Alexander signing even better for the team because not only experience now. Yeah, we have experience in the slot. I think Gladney has he showed real potential last year.
He can hit a mother
trucker. He's a good tackler. Didn't really show it as much because he wasn't given the opportunities to make those open field tackles because he was more pushed outside.
Yeah.
But he's definitely not a one-on-one right now.
Gladney isn't going to be run downfield with the number 1 receiver.
And if we're running a nickel, we're going to have 4 cornerbacks out there, or maybe go 3-4 up front. Maybe bring in – I think Anthony Barr would benefit a lot from this heavy set of free agent signings.
It gives them more room to rush the quarterback, which is what he's not and nowhere near an elite coverage linebacker. He is great at pass rushes, which is where he excels. Honestly, back when he almost signed with the Jets, I kind of, for his sake, wanted him to go there because he could rush the quarterback all he wanted. But he came back, and, I love him for it. He's probably gone after this year, unless we trade Kirk Cousins next year, which is the only way that we sign everyone back. Hey, we'll get into that later. I have a hot take. Don't you worry, man.
I just got the hot take.
I got a hot take after that Zach Wilson pro day. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Ugh. So I think what actually could surprise some people is if Mac Alexander moves out to safety. He's shown that he can play. His specialty is zone. It's not man to man. And I think he might be a potential strong safety solution.
Free safety.
Harrison Smith is free
Harrison
safety.
Smith is strong safety.
Strong safety. They might rotate
What's
around.
Up? Shalom, my Jewish friend. What kind of?
We are drinking generic beer.
Miller Lite, unsponsored, free advertising for Miller Lite, the Wisconsin beer, official beer of the Minnesota Vikings. But we have no affiliation with either.
We do not. We're not being paid.
Before YouTube tries to shut us down for, we'll never be monetized. We have 5 viewers right now, but we love every single one of you, Carter.
Yeah,
Carter, tell the chat how cold Lake Superior was last weekend.
Okay, let's ignore that. Actually, we have more viewers right now than I think any of the one-time Wednesday videos have had.
We got 8 or 9 at one point.
Anyways, so guys, we'll give you an opportunity to ask some questions later on. We'll answer them. But for now, we're going to get into. So we got into the free agency signings. Now we're going to get into potential draft day solutions because we have not, besides the trade for Mason Cole with the Arizona Cardinals, we really have not addressed the offensive line issue at all, and that's scary.
Let me tell you about this NFL. This NFL.com mock draft just came out. I memorized the first 3 rounds because we only have 4 picks. First round, 14th overall, Elijah Vera-Tucker.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't mind it. He'd move into guard. That's where he's projected is move into guard. He's not a great tackle. I'll try to keep kind of how explosive I think Kirk is going to be this year. All right, Mitch Sucks 69. I believe you. Kirk is going to have a great year. But anyways,
disagree.
Elijah Vera-Tucker, he moves into guard. You have, unless we make this trade for Orlando Brown Jr., which I would love. But we'd have to pay him after this year and Brian O'Neill, which would not be optimal. You're looking at Ezra Cleveland possibly moving to, I'd say move him to right tackle, Brian O'Neill move him left tackle, pay him left tackle money. And then you have Elijah Vera-Tucker in at guard, Garrett Bradbury at center, and who's our other guard? Who would? Honestly, I think
Mason Cole will probably slide into guard.
Mason Cole. I forgot we cheered for him. He'd get an opportunity, a shot at starting at guard.
I think he's started 32 games in the NFL. And only 2 of them have been at guard. I really like Mason Cole out of college. I thought just his leadership, and I think he started 3 years at Michigan. So I think
he was the first true freshman to start in the offensive line at Michigan.
Yeah, so he definitely has some. Potential there. I don't know if Arizona, because they had AQ Shipley and they slid him into center, and then that's when they moved Mason Cole kind of the backup role. But then they also moved him into
they just
guard.
signed Rodney Hudson too. So
and there's videos out there of Dalvin Tomlinson going 1-on-1 with Mason Cole. So yeah, we'll get into the potential draft. I think they have to address the offensive line first pick.
Honestly. Mitch said it before we started here earlier. The Miami Dolphins traded the number 3 pick for the number 12 pick and then trade back up to the 6th. And he believes it's trade bait to try to get a bunch of more picks. Honestly, draft day comes, either Slater or Sewell, I believe will both be there at 6 overall, possibly. Depends on the Bengals at 5, right?
Bengals at 5.
Bengals are going to take one of them at 5. They won't trade. If we're going to trade up for either of them, it's going to be at 6. Because if the Dolphins sit there and don't find a trade they like, I see them taking the other one. at this point. Unless Kyle Pitts falls to him or they go wide receiver, which Jamar Chase right there is another one that I see going. Mitch is shocked right now that I actually know what I'm talking about when it comes to drafting.
Yeah, if you pay attention to the channel at all, I did a blindfold reaction. Go ahead and check that out. To Isaac's,
I didn't know anyone after the first round.
So. I wasn't blindfold. I was muted.
You're
duct tape
muted.
over my mouth.
I could see him in the corner.
And it was awful.
But to walk out the door.
Yeah, at 14, there's definitely possibilities. It really depends on how the board falls. As Minnesota Vikings fans, we want to see as many quarterbacks fly off the board as early as possible because that means that people are going to be trading up, and then offensive tackles become less and less of a priority. And we want those people to fall down to us. Potential people that might fall down. Christian Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech, bigger guy, not as athletic as what we kind of want. He's not really a system fit.
To start the draft. Four.
Yeah.
Possibly four. Three, definitely.
So I think that it's going to be Trevor Lawrence at 1. And then I think the Jets could shop number 2.
Here's the thing. You want my hot take right now? You want my hot take? All right. Zach Wilson had his pro day today. I watched one play, and I'm ready to sell the farm and give all my money to the New York Jets for that number 2 overall pick. I will give them Kirk Cousins. I will give them just to drop the salary, just to dump his salary. I'd give them Kirk Cousins. I'd give them our first round this year. I'd give them our first round next year. I'd give them our first round the next year. I'd give them I give them whatever they ask for. And just go all in Zach Wilson this year with this team. And you just
Okay.
Kirk,
we obviously have a troll in the chat because I am not a Kirk Cousins supporter. I'm sick and tired of the Kirk Cousins apologists.
I love Kirk.
He's a good
quarterback,
State. Right? But there's something to say about his wallet being too much for the value we're getting from him. And next season, he is the highest paid quarterback. Actually, he's the highest paid player in the NFL next season at $45 million.
All his money back, and everyone's mad that he won't restructure his contract like Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady did. But Tom Brady signed an extension. Patrick Mahomes has 10 years of pushing money back. Kirk Cousins, the only way he restructures his contract is to extend him again, just like last year.
Fuck no.
And he even said he wants to hit free agency again. So he's not going to sign an extension. He's going to play out his contract. The only way that the Vikings get out of it is if they trade him next offseason. So we're stuck with him this year. Not even stuck. He's not bad. Kirk took him more seconds last year than Oprah. Well, Oprah doesn't do crap.
Yeah.
Except interview former royal people that,
who
knows?
We're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place right now with Kirk Cousins because next year's quarterback class
I believe
is not
you, Mitch
good.
sucks 69. I believe you. I'm not going to whip my phone out. I don't know where it went.
Next year's quarterback class is not as good as this is a once every 10-year quarterback class we got going on right now with 4 instant starters, depending on what team drafts them. I mean, Trey Lance he's intriguing. He's got the build. He's got the numbers, but he's only played in one season and in one game this past year. And during those games he played, he averaged 18 attempts a game, which is nothing. Trey Lance.
Oh yeah, Trey Lance. Sorry, I missed him. My mom texted me.
When whoever drafts him, because I'm sure that he won't follow the Vikings. If he does,
Trey Lance is going 4th, possibly 3rd overall, 3rd or 4th, which is way too high. What about the Lowe's QB from
Iowa?
The Iowa QB from Menominee? Wasn't that? Oh, Nate Stanley? Is that Nate Stanley from Menominee?
Nate Stanley is not going to be in the team next year. I don't think Jake
Nate
Brown
Stanley,
will be in the team next year.
They're going to keep him on the practice squad just like they always do. And they'll sign him if Kirk ever gets hurt. We haven't re-signed Sean Mannion, so we don't have a backup quarterback right now.
Jake Browning.
Jake Browning is currently our backup, which, I mean, Kirk is the most durable quarterback in the NFL. He has never been hurt.
Because he sacks himself. Nate Stanley equals booty. I think that's a Cyclone fan out there, and I agree. I don't think he is a starting caliber NFL player. He's gonna be holding the clipboard the rest of his career.
Best job out there, make millions and never play NFL football.
But
watch film and practice.
But as I said, next year's quarterback class, it's not looking good. Sam Howell out of
Sam Rattler or whatever.
Sam Howell out of UNC, and then Spencer Rattler.
I got him. I combined them.
They both have things you can love about them, but it really depends on what this next season comes out. And I know Brock Purdy from Iowa State is tempting, but he's so off and on. It's not something I really pull the trigger on. I don't think those guys are franchise quarterbacks besides Sam Howell or Spencer Rattler, because they kind of fit today's NFL, just being a mobile quarterback that can throw from the hip, kind of a gunslinger. I think gunslingers went away for a while when Favre retired, and then Stafford's been kind of holding the torch a little bit.
It's been a lot of play action.
And then Pat Mahomes kind of made that popular again, where it's kind of improvisation.
Improv quarterbacks are the future. Where you can move.
Josh Allen's kind of that too.
Josh Allen, he can hurdle a mother trucker.
Well, we know that from
we know that rookie. I'm having a little PTSD from watching that game.
Yeah.
I wanted to cry. It was so bad.
Yeah. So we'll get back into the draft. We need to address the offensive line. I think it's kind of been all the good free agents in the offensive line have kind of passed. I mean, Forrest Lamp's out there. 27 years old from the Chargers. He could be a potential fit at guard. Then we can address
I've read bad things about Forrest Lamp, my man. I've read bad things. I've read good things, but I've read a lot of bad things.
It's just there's not much talent out there. And I think what Spielman's going for is he
wants depth.
He wants
those
if he wants
players.
His job next year, he's going to address the offensive line in the draft. If you go BPA, and let's say Devontae Smith, because
if Devontae Smith falls to 14, you take him in a heartbeat.
No,
you take him.
I would shop the pick.
Take him.
I would shop the pick.
You take Devontae Smith, make him your number 3, and he'll be a successor to Adam Thielen as the number 2. Because our number 1 is Justin Jefferson.
The way we've run through free agency so far, it's all signs are pointing to we're going to push us into the draft and have a young player start on the offensive line. I know Ezra is, he's improving. It wasn't very promising at guard.
I think he's a better tackle.
And I know they're talking about moving Brian O'Neill left tackle. That would be the biggest mistake ever. Not only because Brian O'Neill just moved into a new position.
He's the top right tackle in the league.
He's one of the top.
I didn't say he's the top. I said he's a top.
Yeah. Yes. So he's a top 5 right tackle in the league. But if you move him to left tackle, there's a lot of things behind that could hurt us.
Well, you got to pay him.
It's
more money.
His rookie contract is expired after this year, and you're gonna have to move him to left tackle, and you're gonna pay him left tackle money, which is I think $5 million more a season for that just a position change. And I'm thinking he's holding out on an extension because he wants to see if he gets left tackle money.
How do you feel about getting Morig? I don't know who that is in the 20s.
Trevor Mooring from TCU.
I think just the
safety.
Oh, dude,
I don't think we need to address safety right now. Just the way our D back room is kind of molding itself. We still have players like Harrison Hand or Chris Boyd that can slide into safety. And if you're putting a lot of assets into safety, you're not going to get much return into it because you already have Harrison Smith. You're going to have to extend, right?
They will extend them.
And if you waste your first round pick,
you don't take safety first round. I say we address that O line right away at 14.
You got to.
And then all right. So we have two third rounders, 70 something. Then in the 80s, I believe.
Yeah.
I like all the mock drafts to say that first pick in the third round we take Kyle Trask. We got to take a quarterback in this draft before the 6th or 7th round, like we always do. Kyle Trask could be just, a nice guy to back up Kirk Cousins because he's not going to play. Especially since we're addressing the O-line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a bad pick. It's kind of like the Jalen Hurts pick. Last year I wanted Jalen Hurts or Jake Fromm. I don't know why I want Jake Fromm. I just like Jake Fromm. Maybe it's because I drafted him in Madden and he led me to a Super Bowl in Miami. I base all my NFL predictions and
Don't listen
everything
to 'em.
off of Madden. All right, off those off those draft classes that people make. Sorry, but that second pick in the third round, you go safety. You go safety.
There's gonna be a bunch of people available.
Government.
Probably it's gonna be possibly
I gotta
Darius
find
Washington out of TCU might be available in the third round.
I believe that's who it was.
You're gonna Richie Grant. I know he made headway in the Senior Bowl. He might not fall that far. He really he improved his senior year at UCF as an interception just machine. Kind of, I would comp him to Anthony Harris, just his production and in the interception area, and he's really good at zone coverage.
Oh wait,
I think if depending on where the ball is in our court at 14, we need to either trade down or stick to an offensive lineman that we love. So that's something we really need to address immediately is go offensive line, see if we can use our assets and trade up. Get more value. I mean, I like Quinn Mayners out of Wisconsin Whitewater. He's someone that could possibly fall in the fourth, third round that we could address in the interior of the offensive line. And then maybe look for wide receiver. Dwayne Eskridge out of Western Michigan is somebody that really made his name in the Senior Bowl, and it could possibly be a third round wide receiver. I know I was talking about Devontae Smith if he's there. But we need to address offensive line first, and then go BPA the rest of the way down because right now it's not looking like the Vikings are.
Let me cut in here.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was talking about that NFL.com mock draft.
Right.
Third round. I thought they took a safety, but they take a safety in the fourth round. Third round, they have us taking a 78 overall, Kyle Trask, and then a 90 overall. How do you feel about this? Tylan Wallace, senior wide receiver at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Tylan Wallace had a lot of production this past season. He's always had production at his time at Oklahoma State. But he's someone that could fit into that slot wide receiver. He thrived in the slot early on in his days at Oklahoma State and then moved more outside, and he was number one target. But it's just it's really we need to go down the list. People need to make a list and address the issues that are currently on the team, and it's got to be O-line and then BPA the rest of the way. I mean, we've filled the defensive tackle, and this defensive tackle class right now probably is the worst in the past 10 years. There's Christian Barmore. He's going to fall.
He's going to be in the 20s, mid-late 20s.
I don't think he's going to get drafted in the first round. Just the way I've been looking at mock drafts and how people are seeing or labeling him, he's more of an early second round pick, someone that's going to fit. There's no Derek Browns in this class. There's no run stuffers. There's no pass rushers like Aaron Donald. It's all going to be based on what's available for the Vikings and what you Vikings fans want to see. You want to see wide receiver and quarterback go off the board first.
Thank you, Mitch Suck 69. All right, so after that wide receiver pick. The NFL mock draft at 119 with our next pick in the fourth round. They have us taking Walker Little, offensive tackle out of Stanford. How do you feel about that one?
That's more of a developmental role. I think you got to go heavy in the offensive line if you're going to go maybe trade up and get interior. I don't feel like late round offensive linemen are what we need right now because we've addressed that. We've drafted so many late round offensive linemen in the past 2 years that it's kind of.
Well, how about the next pick? 6 picks later, they have us taking Kylan Granson, tight end out of SMU.
I mean, tight end's a potential fit for us, but with
third tight end, just in case.
Yeah, you got to address tight end probably later on. Well, one other position you need to address that no one's really talking about is kicker. We don't have a kicker on the roster.
We're not.
And there's plenty of young people out there like Evan McPherson.
The kicker.
He's there. I think he's going back to school, though.
Gosh, the Minnesota Vikings would win every Super Bowl with a kicker named Dicker.
I mean, Cameron Dicker had a really good first 2 seasons with Texas. But I think he's going back for his senior year. He struggled last season, but Evan McPherson out of Florida and then Rodriguez out of Miami, I think is his name. He has a big leg. I think those are the top 2 graded kickers. and I can't believe we're talking about kickers, but it's something we're gonna have to draft. And guess what, Vikings fans?
Vikings fans,
you're gonna be drafting another kicker, and we're gonna be up in the air with them again. So get ready.
I understand why we cut Daniel Carlson after that game against the Packers, but I mean, we're a playoff caliber team. You can't have a liability like that. But I would like to see him give him another chance. Seeing how he's been one of the most accurate kickers ever since.
Yeah.
All right. Next pick at 134. How do you feel about this? Another Miami edge rusher, Quincy Roche. Roche. Okay.
Senior Bowl, he came in with a lot of hype. Didn't really perform. I think he kind of got overshadowed at Miami he started last season because Gregor Rousseau sat out the year. But Jalen Phillips, I think, is the most intriguing defensive end out of Miami. I think he's be a star potential. He was number one recruit out of high school. Went to Miami and just kind of had a lot of concussion issues, a lot of injury issues. But someone you could draft, like I think he's very comparable to Montez Sweat out of Mississippi State a few years ago, where there was injury concerns. They brought him in, and now Montez Sweat is killing it with the Panthers.
Yeah. All right. Our last topic on the draft. I'm just going off the NFL mock draft.
Yeah.
And pick 143, the second to last pick in the fourth round. That was taking the senior safety out of Virginia Tech, Divine Diablo. How do you feel about that? That would be a safety that you could see starting at the free safety spot, possibly.
Late round safeties is something Spielman wants to do. And how many times have they really fit? I mean, Anthony Harris, I think, was a sixth rounder, fifth rounder.
Only one that's worked out.
Virginia Tech, or he was just Virginia. And he came in, fit the system, sat behind Sendejo, and kind of just filled that role when Sendejo.
Is Sendejo still a free agent?
I think so.
I believe the Vikings have talked to him. That would be something I could see them.
I would not want that to happen.
And if they don't, if he's still out there when training camp rolls around, that's something where you take a look at your rookie and say, we need a veteran back here. Someone that wants to make football violent again. Someone that will knock out his own teammates trying to get a tackle. Right. That's what you like to see. I want to see a guy knocking out his own teammates. Sendejo kills people for him, and that is exactly what I'm saying, Justin.
The last thing I want is for my two safeties to be called for targeting and leave the game. And obviously, Harrison Smith he's a hitman, so there's a bounty out on his head, and every time he makes a tackle, you're always holding your breath for a targeting call and see if he get kicked out of the game. But Sendejo will kill people, and he will be ejected from games. So you're paying for 1 quarter of football with Sendejo. All right, now I think we're going to open it up to the floor here for questions if you guys have. Otherwise, we're going to end the stream. And Isaac, do you have any hot topics at all that you want to address while there's no questions flooding in?
Yeah, from our 3 viewers. Justin, you better ask a couple questions. That's what you said you were here to do. You're kind of our plan man. Well, Alex just died, so there's that. What was the cat? Well, first off, shout out to the Minnesota Wild for being the best team Minnesota has ever seen in their lifetime. Thoughts on Sweet 16 this weekend, Carter? All I care about is my one team left, Michigan. If they win it all, I have a chance of winning this bracket pool. I do not watch college basketball other than last weekend because we had nothing better to do with our lives after hiking. But Mitch, how do you feel about the Sweet 16? Seeing how neither of us watching college basketball.
Well, I've been watching Gonzaga, but mostly because we have homegrown Jalen Suggs on the team. I would love to see him in a Timberwolves jersey, but the way the Timberwolves have structured their first overall pick or their first pick, unprotected or protected top 3 pick, but it's unprotected if we fall out of there. I'm hoping we can get him because I feel like another guard would be beneficial. We could run a 2-guard system with Suggs and D'Angelo Russell, and then have Anthony Edwards play strong forward, shooting guard kind of position. The way that the new coach has been playing Anthony Edwards has really proven that
he just plays him.
Anthony Edwards is a star in the making, and we're gonna be. I wouldn't actually. It's controversial right now, but Karl-Anthony Towns is not.
He's out.
I wouldn't mind seeing him trade.
If you blow it up when D'Angelo Russell comes back healthy, and you blow it up, get rid of him and Cat, build around Anthony Edwards again, do another rebuild.
And we're gonna see if other people want to do more Timberwolves content because we're obviously not the experts. I know Isaac is wearing a Timberwolves jersey.
I'm wearing a Wiggins
But
jersey.
we're more football guys here on this podcast.
Football, baseball, a little bit of hockey.
Justin,
I do want to address
that. Need a guard, tackle, safety, edge. What are our thoughts?
Justin, I'm gonna tell you right now. First round, obviously, you go get an alignment. Probably gonna be Elijah Bear Tucker at this point. That's my prediction. Unless the Vikings do the right thing of trading up, which I don't see them doing it. They already lost the 7th rounder because they screwed up the salary cap. So Spielman's holding those close. But you go address that guard spot. You pretty much have your starting O-line set. I like the pick of a quarterback early in the 3rd round just to have a developmental guy behind Kirk because Kirk won't be here after next year, I believe. We have 2 years basically. If this year goes like last year, I see them just start to blow it up. They get ready for when Kirk is gone, whether they trade next year or if they play it out. And
what trade him with $45 million?
Yeah, he'd have to restructure that. He'd have to sign an extension with whatever team he gets traded to. He doesn't have a no trade clause anymore. So you go find a team, whoever's the new Jets, unless the Jets are still the Jets, which I predict. I do predict the Jets, if they can't trade Sam Darnold, there is a chance they either trade out that 2nd spot or draft a O-lineman, which honestly they should draft an O-lineman. They could have a solid 7-9 team next year. But our number 2 need, definitely, our top 2 needs are definitely guard tackle. However they figure it out. If they go guard, they move Ezra out to left tackle, right tackle. They'll make it work. They always make it work. The best they can work. I mean, they went and traded for the 30th ranked center last year, so there was that. But definitely, got to go get a starting safety, possible starting safety later in the draft, which is whoever they draft is going to have a chance of starting. He'll probably be competing with the guys Mitch talked about, our cornerbacks, our defensive backs that we have currently. And
the one rumor that was going out there when we signed Patrick Peterson is we're going to move him out to safety because he said on was a Dan Patrick show that he could play safety, but
he came out and said that they said you're our number 1 corner. Basically,
we're paying him corner money. We're not paying him safety money. Yeah. He's going to play corner. And during the presser, he said that he's going to play corner for us.
Yeah, our secondary is going to be 10 times better than last year, just with Patrick Pierce and Mackenzie Alexander.
Right.
So I don't leave the door open. Damn, Maz. But yeah, I mean, looking at the Vikings right now, if they did, I could see them taking edge later in the draft. Someone that they could really try to develop while they mix in DJ Wanham and Stephen Weatherly early in the season and start throwing them in later. As long as Daniil's looking healthy as crap. I can't swear, so Mitch came down on me. But Daniil's looking healthy. He'll be there at end. You got DJ Wanham and Stephen Weatherly on the other side rotating with maybe another signing. Maybe Everson Griffin. Who knows?
I think that bridge is kind of burned.
The man definitely needs to figure out a little bit. Can you talk a little more on wide receiver 3, actually? I really don't mind the mock draft saying that we take a wide receiver in the 3rd round. That guy out of Oklahoma State. Yeah. I don't know much about him. Mitch does. Based on my Madden drafts, I'd love to go get Rondale Moore.
Not gonna happen.
Honestly, I could see the Vikings using one of their they have 2/3 and 3/4. They could make a trade up to the 2nd round
to get back in the middle of the 1st round. They're gonna have to use a future 1st round pick, I think, to do that. Maybe a couple 4ths. But yeah, the guy that I could see possibly falling to the 3rd round with one of our 3rd round picks is Dwayne Eskridge out of Western Michigan. He gives off Tyreek Hill vibes, the way he just has a short stride and is able to cut in and out. He really came out of nowhere. He had a lot of production at Western Michigan for the past 2 seasons, and he came out in the Senior Bowl and kind of came on the spot and into the spotlight a lot with his play, and he was burning. He was burning safeties. He was burning one-on-ones. He really made a name for himself, and he's somebody that the Vikings could possibly look at getting. He also returns kicks.
Looking at the Vikings,
you're gonna need someone that can return kicks. I mean, Daz Newsome. I've been on his hype train for a while at North Carolina. Someone that could also step in and fill that returning spot and just that slot wide receiver that we re-signed BB.
Minimum $900K, but looking at the Vikings, they have two of the best route runners in the entire NFL right now. When you look at that third wide receiver spot, you're looking for a speed guy, someone that'll burn someone on the down the sideline. That's what we thought we could get with Tajay Sharp. His 6 targets of the year were him just running go routes, and they never worked out. If you draft a wide receiver, you're drafting for speed at that point, just speed and hands. And you don't care about his route running ability. Obviously, you just need someone that could run. That's why in Madden I signed Jakeem Grant. Just go get someone 97 speed, man.
Your Madden is
not
realistic.
Hey, back-to-back Super Bowl wins. Traded Kirk to the Patriots.
It'll be a while, I think, until that happens. But
actually, we're working on our back-to-back. We got blown out by the Packers in the NFC Championship first.
Yeah,
year.
Justin, this linebacker. Good question. This linebacker draft class is pretty shallow after the first 3 linebackers off the board. I mean, you have Zaven Collins out of You have the Nick Bolton out of Missouri, and you have the number 1 linebacker, which is Penn State, Micah Parsons, who just Can we talk about this? Micah Parsons and Jason Owa? They both
4.3.
They both ran
4.3
under 4.40.
Yeah. When it comes to the Vikings linebackers, honestly, I could see them taking a guy later in the draft. But I mean, you have Anthony Barner, Kendrick Sett, that
Troy Dye on the other side.
Right outside linebacker, you're gonna see a rotation of Troy Dye and Vigil.
Nick Vigil.
We have a lot of linebackers. I would have loved to see Eric Wilson back. But I mean, they still have money. He hasn't signed yet, I don't believe. I'm gonna fact check that 1 second.
I think he did sign.
Keep talking.
I want to say Bengals, but maybe not.
The Bengals just
they just leech out Vikings. Should we spend our late draft picks mostly to help our horrendous team trade earlier talent?
He has not been signed. He could end up back with the Vikings. There's a chance.
I think Eric Wilson went into free agency thinking he was going to get a lot more money than he actually is going to get. I think that's what a lot of players, when they especially opt-out players that are now free agents, they thought they would get a lot more money this offseason, not seeing the impact of COVID. But with this low salary cap, people are signing these 1-year deals just so they can get their name out there and show that they could still play, and then getting future picks when the salary cap's going to boom next year with this 17-game.
According to Ben Lieber, he projects so the salary cap went back down to 182 million.
Mm-hmm.
With fans making a comeback this year, the salary cap was projected to go up $10 million a year. It went back down about 15 this year, and he's predicting a 30 to 40 million boost next year. From 180 to possibly 220, and that's the year you want to be a free agent. So that's where you're going to see a lot. I mean, everyone's kind of holding out till next year, and there's going to be a frenzy, a free for all.
These 1-year deals are flying off the books. I mean, you're seeing these. If they're not signing a 1-year deal, they're signing a multi-year 2 to 3 year deal with a 1-year opt out. Yeah. So there's a lot of these players that are just going to play for a season with this team, and
kind of like Anthony Barr's restructure was.
Yep, he's a free agent this season.
I don't want to be cut because I'm not signing a multi-year deal because next year I'll make a buttload of money.
Right.
The multi deals you are seeing are very backloaded right now too.
Mm-hmm. And the Vikings are not going to have as much salary cap as you think either, because Kirk Cousins' contract is going to take up 22% of the Vikings salary cap, and I'm telling you, Vikings fans, when you see the salary cap next year, it's not going to be pretty because we've backloaded, we've extended people, we've pushed their contracts back. It's not going to be pretty unless we start to extend people even more, and then we're stuck with people. If we extend Kirk Cousins and backload that contract even more, it's going to just carry out.
He wants to hit free agency because he knows. Kirk Cousins is the smartest man when it comes to contracts and money. He knows how to make the biggest
Guaranteed
bang for
money.
his buck. I mean, when he hits free agency, he knows there's going to be a team that desperately needs a quarterback. Honestly, I could see the 49ers. I'm saying they take Trey Lance third overall, which is a mistake. Trey Lance, they could go for Justin Fields. I just know they tried to trade for Sam Darnold. Didn't work out. They didn't want to give up too much. And now they believe that the Jets might not take a quarterback because they have Sam Darnold. They're hoping Zach Wilson falls to 3.
Yeah.
But their backup plan is Justin Fields or Trey Lance. We all know how an Ohio State quarterback works out. I have no faith in Justin Fields. I hope he does well. I want him to do well.
But he's an Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you go look at Dwayne Haskins. He's backing up. He's the heir apparent to.
I think he's
Ben
different
Roethlisberger.
I think he's different than all the other quarterbacks.
Oh,
A little
yeah.
more pocket passers. Justin Fields he's a mover. He can move. He can run downfield, kind of Cam Newton-ish. He's got a strong arm, but his problem is he sits in the pocket too long. He doesn't let plays develop. He throws. He throws. People,
He's used to that Ohio State O-line.
He throws when people are open. He doesn't throw open. Wide receivers open. He needs that window. I know he had a lot of good receivers this past year too. I mean, Chris Olave is not shabby at all. So Justin Fields is kind of one of those boom or bust kind of players, and I think he's gonna be a boom. He might not be up in the Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson kind of atmosphere, but he's gonna be kind of he'll be a decent quarterback in the NFL, and it just really takes a team to draft him. That I think the Falcons are perfect fit. He's a Georgia boy, and he's
somewhere where he's gonna sit. Yeah.
Justin said, should we spend our late draft picks mostly to help our horrendous special teams or trade them?
We need a kicker. And, I mean, right now we have the emergency kicker from the Buccaneers.
Greg Joseph.
Whether or not I could see them going for a kicker in the 6th, 7th round to compete in training camp with them. I mean, that's not much of a commitment at that point. You could always cut them and save your money. And, it's a 6th, 7th round pick. It's not considered a waste at that point. Those guys usually don't even make a team unless you're the Vikings. Yeah, I mean, please don't leave Kirk. I love you. You are the best transaction Spielman has ever made.
This guy's just trolling me.
I want to know who this is.
Going back to your
Dox
question,
yourself, man.
Go back to the question, Justin.
My favorite fan, number one fan.
If there's any season so far that Spielman's going to make moves to trade up and get more 3rd, 4th round picks and then turn those into maybe possibly moving up into late 1st, early 2nd.
It's his last season as a
Minnesota Vikings. This is his time. He needs to make moves. We had 15 draft picks last year, and we had 13 the year before that. We have young players in the system that we can build up. The problem is every year we flush new players out, and they go to other teams, and they're key role players in special teams. That's why special teams last year was so iffy. We had players that we started rookies on special teams, and we got burned. It was proven that, if you have young guys in special teams, yes, fresh legs, fresh faces.
You need Adam Thielen on special teams.
You need players that are developed in the system, not players that you flush out every year. Every year it seems like we're drafting, as I said, 13, 15 players. This is the year to trade up and get assets that can help the team now. Get 3rd and 4th round picks and use those picks to trade up. Or if you're Spielman, you got to trade those assets for future picks that are high up as well. If we're either going to see the same Spielman this year in the draft, we're going to see him trading down, gathering more assets later on.
I can see him trading up this year.
If he does that, though, he needs to trade up, and we need to get actual.
If he's gonna trade up, you trade up. You trade up top 10. You trade it up into the top 10 pick. You get a tackle, Sewell or Slater.
If Sewell drops, I know there's a lot of people questioning if he loves football. There's that cliche.
He's the biggest offensive tackle to come into the draft.
He is the best prospect to tackle that since what was it?
I would give Kirk my dear Lord. Hey, Mitch Suck 69, ask me a question, man. I will answer from the
Penny
heart.
Sewell's the best tackle prospect we've had in a while. I think Luke Jokel was hyped up. He didn't turn out to be anything. But Penny Sewell is a mover.
I will say,
an absolute bulldozer.
I will say, I understand Rick Spielman's caution when it comes to the first round offensive lineman ever since the Matt Kalil experiment. He had a great rookie year for a rookie. And then, and he just went off to Carolina Panthers to die with his brother. I understand their Isaac is the best podcaster I've ever watched. Oh, I love you. And it's not Michael. He's at work. I know that for a fact. He actually was talking shit. So, I made it 50 minutes without swearing.
Yeah. Knew it was coming out sometime. Anyways.
Mitch, take over. I got to take a moment to gather myself.
Drink your sangria there, bud.
Dude. And this sangria just makes you swear.
Yeah, but guys, any more questions for us? So we've kind of touched on everything from wide receiver 3, the linebacker needs.
I do have a couple things.
If we're going to trade up in the draft, this, as I said before, this is a do or die kind of situation for Zimmer and Spielman. They kind of been showing like, hey, this is a season to make an impact. It's Brian. I guarantee it's Brian.
All right. Just keep going. Keep going.
This team needs to make a move now. We have plenty of depth. It's just a matter of getting players that can play the first day of the year. And I know that people are not going to like the O-line pick. I mean, it's not a pretty pick, right?
Negative for me, I'm out.
It's not a pretty pick, but it's something that we desperately need. And I know there's a Matt Kalil stigma that the Vikings have. It's just we got to get over that, and we got to address the offensive line first pick. It's
not right.
It's just a matter of win now, or are we gonna? What's the future of this team? This is a pretty good turning point for this team. If this draft's gonna tell us a lot about what the Will family, what Spielman want to do with this team, and I don't think Spielman will be here if this goes poorly. So, and we will be live streaming that as well. We'll have our own
draft
setup.
night. We will be live.
So I can kind of go over
Mitch's basement with all 12 of his screens.
Yeah.
I agree, unless pick 14 telling is gone at O-line. But I hope it's there.
If it's not there, we trade down. We got to trade down, get second round pick, and get some interior offense linemen. After the first 4 tackles in this draft, it's Alex Leatherwood who's there. I don't know if he'll be a good pick for later on in the first round. I think he's going to be a second day kind of guy. But if after tackles are off the board, it's going to be looking at Kwity Paye. It's going to be looking at edge rushers, and after that,
we don't go edge rush first round. I'm telling you right now.
If offensive tackles are off the board, I think so.
If Rousseau or Kwity Paye are there, not Rousseau. I wouldn't take Rousseau at 14. He's projected to go 32nd.
And I called the slide too. I called the Rousseau slide.
Honestly, with all these mock drafts out there, look at you can only predict the first overall pick. After that, it's a free for all.
Yeah, especially with these recent trades.
It really all comes. The whole draft, I'm telling you right now, whole draft comes down to that number 2 overall pick. The Jets are not showing their hand right now. They're shopping Sam Darnold to see what they can get, but they haven't traded him. And why? I mean, Sam Darnold, you might as well commit to him. I mean, Zach Wilson is better, but, you still have Sam Darnold. You go take an offensive tackle, second overall, if you can't make that trade. But, what I could see happening is them trading that second pick. And if they can't trade Sam Darnold, if he's not traded by, the start of the draft, they go offensive tackle. And then it's a free for all after that. This is gonna be the most wild quarterback draft of all time. Mm-hmm. And I hope you all join us for it, because I'm gonna be hammered. I'm taking the next day off at work. I don't even care.
As I said earlier on this episode, you want to see quarterbacks go off the board early on in this draft for Vikings fans. You want to see these, because you're going to see teams wanting to trade back after the quarterbacks are off the board, and that's a potential spot. If, let's say, we can get in front of the Bengals, the top 4 pick. I mean, it probably won't happen. But if the Bengals go a different way than Penny Sewell, I could see the Vikings trading up to that 6th pick with the Dolphins.
Yeah, dude. Honestly,
think about this:
Sewell,
if they pass him, if the Bengals pass on Sewell,
they're taking Sewell or Slater. Is it Slater?
I like Rashawn Slater.
Yeah, thank you.
He's just
people are saying he's the best tackle in the draft, which honestly, I looked at a picture of Penny Sewell and I was like, how do you say that? It's just, if the Vikings go get either of those guys, they're set. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, thank you to our maximum of 5 viewers the whole time.
And we got to 7, I think.
Yeah, dude, I've had like 12 drinks so far. I'm having a great time.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Hey, just a couple wrap-up things. Yeah, so as you all know, Carter and I, now that fans are allowed at Twins games, Carter and I will be going forward with our Dollar Dog Challenge documented by Mitch here. We'll keep you all updated. We will post a video of that. Yeah. A lot of puke will be involved, I guarantee it. New challenge put forth by Noah. You haven't seen him in a long time. He has a baby. Loser. Just kidding. I love that baby. We will be posting a video of our Oklahoma drill. He is 6. What is he? 6'3", 6'4" on 5'10".
6'2".
He's 6'2", 6'3" on 5'10". I got a solid 5 pounds on him probably. We will be doing an Oklahoma drill. It's gonna be a great time.
We're gonna as well.
I'm eating $15 dogs. Carter, I'm gonna eat 16.
All right, guys. We're gonna wrap this up. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned for further content on the channel. We'll be posting a lot more now.
We're gonna pump it out. We are committed. We are the only 2 really committed to this thing. Carter and Justin are just here for the ride at this point because Justin won't show his face. Justin, make those bets for me, man.
All right.
Caprice out.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Love you guys. Bye.
That's got to spew shit at the end.